Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Chris Davis, and today we are going to do a review of X-Men 97 episode 4. So before we get into this, I want to say sorry I haven't been uploading as much as I used to. Last week, was the eclipse, and then also was getting close to the deadline to do your taxes, so I wanted to get that out of the way. You have to give, the government what's theirs, and so that's why you saw only like one video last week. But we're going to get back into our schedule. I'm getting more videos ready for like upload, and so we'll get back on track. But with that, before we go into the video even more, I do want to say I do notice you guys have been looking at the shorts, so the shorts are getting views. I will do more of that. Also, I see that you all are responding very well to the X-Men content, so I will do more of that. I am going to still do Star Wars Bad Batch because that show is amazing. Now, with that all out of the way, let's get into this. So, X-Men 97, episode 4. So, this episode was interesting. It does move the plot forward. So it's kind of like a two-parter episode, but it's in one. So the first part of the episode focuses on Jubilee and Roberto, and then the second part focuses on Storm and Forge. So we're going to talk about the first part first. So the first part starts off with Jubilee's birthday. It's her 18th birthday. And the other X-Men ask her, hey, how do you want to celebrate? And then Jubilee says, let's go to the arcade. And then Magneto shuts it down, saying, hey, you shouldn't be like going to the arcade. You need to be going into the danger room and improving your skills. And then that upsets Jubilee. She goes in her room. She complains about Magneto to Roberto. And basically Roberto's like, hey, I'm not into video games. And then Jubilee says the only people who say that video games are for little kids or they're not into them are just people who aren't good at them. And so then something weird happens. So there's a Nintendo console in our room. They're getting ready to play some video games, but something happens. The Nintendo console becomes animated, and it sucks them both into the console, into some kind of cyber video game. And the one who's responsible for this is a villain called Mojo. He's really ugly looking. And the reason why he sucked them into this game is because he claims his ratings are down. He needs a ratings boost. And so Roberto's a fish out of water. He doesn't know what to do in a video game, but Jubilee has played a ton of video games and she knows what to do, and she's getting them through all the levels. She does get her help from a digital copy of herself. The digital Jubilee, with her help, they're able to defeat Mojo, and the digital Jubilee gives the real Jubilee like a pep talk saying that Magneto's partially right. You do have to grow up and you have to understand that life is about risk. But he is wrong about one thing: video games are fun. And so the episode, that part of the episode ends with Jubilee and Roberto like coming together, and now they're a couple. Now, the second part of the episode is Storm and Forge. So Storm is with Forge because Forge claims that he can help her get her powers back. And Storm losing her powers has made her very distraught. It's like her identity's gone. She doesn't know like who she is. Like her confidence is gone. Like without her powers, then like kind of like what is she? That's kind of what she's going through. And Forge is again helping her get her powers back. And when he helps her he runs an experiment. He does an experiment on her. She goes into a capsule. When she gets out of the capsule, Storm tries to command the winds, but they don't come. And it's really sad to look at because she's like begging like the wind and the weather to obey her, but it's not working. It's just not working. I think really the writers took Storm's power away because X-Men 97 episode 2, the second episode of the series, the X-Men were really overpowered. Like, Storm by herself took out all those Sentinels. And to create more tension, I think they've really just taken Storm's powers away for that reason. But, still sad to see her go through this without her powers. She feels helpless. She doesn't feel the same like without them. Anyway, Storm gets curious and she wonders why Forge wants to help her so badly get her powers back. And Forge tells her that he's doing this because he feels partially responsible for her powers going away, because he created like weapons and technology that took away Storm's powers. And then Storm is distrustful. She leaves. But before that part goes down, before Forge reveals the truth and why he's helping her and stuff like that, they do go out on a horseback ride, and Storm is racing Forge. She's getting ahead of him, but she almost falls off a cliff until she stops, and she notices a certain owl keeps circling the area, and the weather is doing the same thing, and she's curious about why that is happening. I have to mention that because, like, in a moment I'm gonna bring up like how this episode's in. So fast forward to Forge telling the truth about why he's helping Storm. Storm runs out, and she's on the horse. She's riding away from Forge's cabin. She's leaving him. There was some kind of romantic relationship going on, but after the truth was revealed, she leaves. And then she's riding on a horse, and she falls off a cliff, but somehow, some way, she ends up back at Forge's cabin. And we're all wondering, like, how did that happen? How did she fall off a cliff while riding a horse and then land back at Forge's cabin? And it's the owl that Storm noticed earlier. It's the owl calls himself the adversary, and he says he's here to feast on Storm's fear. And that's where the episode ends off. So Storm is still without her powers, and now she and Forge, if Forge is still alive, have to defeat the adversary. So we'll see where this storyline goes. So that's all we have for today. If you liked what I had to share, please hit the like button to subscribe. Share this video with all your friends, and all of you have a great day.